There's currently 10 famous rappers locked up in prison for committing ridiculous crimes, like Tay-K, who was sentenced to 80 years for the passing of Mark Anthony while trying to steal his DSLR camera.
You're young, but you're gonna have to make better choices. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm gonna sentence him to 80 years in the prison, give him credit for any time served.
However, the most famous rapper in prison right now is Lil Durk.
We want to begin now with some breaking news. Rapper Lil Durk is charged in a for hire plot.
The judge has moved Lil Durk's trial, which opens up a house arrest release date. The News wrote today, Chicago rapper Durk's M for hire trial was moved to August 25th, 2026 at a hearing. 3 of Durk's co-defendants in the King Von revenge case have filed a motion to sever their cases from his trial, which is a massive win for Lil Durk. Going to trial alone versus being with the other members will make it so the prosecutors can't make Durk look bad to the jury for hanging out with known criminal gang members.
And that's what Diddy did. He's basically saying all this evidence y'all got against Durk got nothing to do with me. Why you got me charged with Durk? And that doesn't mean he's going against Durk. That just means he wants his case severed. And I'm telling you, if it's severed, it helps Durk. Because one of the main connective tissue to this conspiracy is saying that Durk told Diddy to hire. Diddy's saying, I ain't get told to hire nobody. And I ain't hiring nobody. What are you talking about? Why would I hire someone? That's his thing.
However, delaying the trial till August opens a window to have Lil Durk released on house arrest, as the News wrote. At the end of Durk's court hearing today, the Chicago rapper's lawyers submitted paperwork for a house arrest agreement. The rapper is even offering to pay an officer's salary to ensure he stays inside his home at all times and monitors his activities. However, the prosecutors wouldn't let the court hearing end in favor of Durk. The judge ended the court hearing by allowing the prosecutors to use all the evidence they want against Durk, even allowing them to show footage of King Von passing to prove Durk's motive for wanting revenge.
Testimony and video surveillance surrounding the death of King Von, and the motion to exclude this evidence was denied, meaning the judge is going to allow witnesses to testify about and allow the video of King Von to be played at the trial. And this is important because prosecutors wanted to use this evidence to argue that King Von is the reason or motive as to why Durk offered this bounty on Quando Rondo. And so with this ruling, the jury will get to see and hear about all of that.
They're allowing it for 2 reasons. One being when Von passed, a lot of ops were celebrating about it. They claimed this fueled Lil Durk to go out and get revenge.
When you heard that, considering the back and forth that y'all have had in your own ways, how did you feel?
So I kind of happy.
You were happy?
Can I say I was kind of happy? No, no, seriously, I was though. It was up. That, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, he did. But I was happy as when I found out Von was dead. I cooked for the whole day. For all the people I
When you looked at King Von getting, how did you feel? Considering the animosity between you guys up to that point.
Like my real first action.
Yeah.
Thought I was happy.
You were happy.
I was happy.
However, the second reason they're going to show King Von's passing is because the judge just allowed certain lyrics to be used against Lil Durk. The lyrics quote, "They be on my page like slide for Von, I'm sure they trolling me. Y'all just don't know that's how it's supposed to be," which they will be connecting to Lil Durk's interview he did with DJ Academics when he brings up the slide for Von comments himself.
You're not triggered by the slide for Von comments. I don't know if people still say it. They used to say it, but you also mentioned a song. They be like, they be saying slide for Von. I think they trolling me. Yo, by the way, that song is fire. I ain't gonna lie.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water.
Him mentioning it during an interview will give the prosecutors leverage as it proves he's fully aware of the slide for Von comments, then backed it up with lyrics in a song. The next lyrics are, "Don't respond to things with Von, I'm like, screw it, you're tripping, go get your stick. They dropping locations, I'm getting it done. F-tweeting, we're sliding, the feds are coming." As they're claiming this confirms Durk's entire motive of not responding to Von comments, grabbing his firearms, and getting the job done.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles and cameras captured the aftermath. No!
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
While many claim lyrics can't be used against you in court, they actually can. It's just rare for it to happen, but when it does, it's a major problem. Lil Durk's lawyers would then counter by claiming that he isn't being treated fairly. As it reads, the Chicago rapper's legal team filed a request for a status hearing regarding Durk being detained in a special housing unit without due process since August 29, 2025. Lil Durk is confined to a very small jail cell, just large enough for a single bed, a toilet, and a sink for 23 hours a day. He does not have access to commissary. He is permitted one phone call a month and no in-person social visits. He was originally placed in special housing as punishment for being in possession of an Apple Watch. However, Durk's attorneys claim that has still not been reviewed by the unit discipline committee to determine proper disciplinary action, which would normally happen within 5 working days. Even inmates from Durk's cell block called those close to Durk's case about it.
They got Lil Durk in a hole for basically some BS, and right now we're gonna show the paperwork. They saying that he was caught with a cell phone, and basically that's not true. They trying to keep him in a hole, do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, but they're trying to make a point because they saying that me and him is privileged and we got so many things going on, and it's a lot of BS.
This got Durk's team to write on his story saying, crazy how you gotta wait until it's dark out to see who really with you. As it's clear Durk's feeling alone right now, and academics admitted how everybody has left him.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the went on tour with, did songs with, called you they brother, they twin. I wouldn't be surprised if these rappers try to India. These are down low and dirty. And I think this is what, I think Durk right now is thinking that, man, I thought I was just with a whole bunch of real. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. And I feel bad for Durk. When King Slime got locked up, there was a whole parade. Free him! Free him! Free him! Oh, nah. Everybody would post details of the case. How is this humane? How could they do this? Yo, free not smart. No, free Slime. Durk got locked up. They might give that half a bar. Free Smirk. And they moved the. I'll give credit. I have heard some of these guys have sent lawyers. Good for that. But Smirk is in there, man, realizing the world don't stop spinning because you locked up.
But academics is saying that Durk won't be the same if he gets out of jail because he's learned some lessons.
Let me tell y'all, the Durk y'all loved when he was free, if he gets back out again, he'll never be that Durk. I'm gonna tell you why. He done learned a lot of lessons. This is me assuming. Nothing he's told me. But the things that he did for others. Y'all know when he came on my podcast, right? And he said, man, yo, Gunna's a snitch. I can't Gunna. Man, f that. I don't care. I love Thug. He said that because Thug told him. Yo, what Durk is realizing, Durk is a great soldier, but nobody looked at him like a leader. Durk was willing to move on behalf of the people he's loyal to when they get locked up. When he locked up, they might drop him as a bar in a song, but...
However, the prosecutors shared some bad things against Durk in the courtroom, as they showed he took a picture with $1 million in cash in 2022, only within a month of the time that Quando Rondo's team was targeted and Lil Pab was taken out. With it reported, prosecutors say Lil Durk placed a $1 million bounty on Quando Rondo in 2022. The discovery also shows that defendant Durk used his trusted lieutenants to recruit hitmen to fly to Southern California on August 18, 2022 to get Quando Rondo. Consistent with Durk's promise to reward co-conspirators, defendant Wilson solicited hitmen by promising to pay a $1 million reward on behalf of defendant Banks in exchange for flying to Los Angeles to commit the crime, as they noted that some of the co-conspirators got other rewards like music videos and rap lyrics following the crime. A prime example of this is Durk's song Block is Hot, which he did as a reward. But the prosecutors continued during the hearing with it written. Durk's trial prosecutors say they have several cooperating witnesses who will testify that he was the real organizer of the passings. Clearly this has Durk stressed out because we got an update on how he's been looking on the inside. People from the courtroom wrote how he looked noticeably thinner and he cut his dreads. But also during the hearing, the judge announced he was denying multiple motions that Durk's lawyers submitted to try dismissing the case. But they took the bill of particulars motion under advisement, which is important, which left a lawyer who was in the courtroom reporting on it.
I'm a criminal lawyer and I just learned that the rap artist Lil Durk just had his motion to dismiss his for hire case denied. To be honest, I'm not that surprised. Let me tell you guys something. There's only two ways that Lil Durk is rocking out of that federal courtroom on 2 feet. A jury of 12 people says that he is not guilty, or President Trump pardons him. There's no other way that Durk is walking out of that court free. That judge is not going to be dismissing any key evidence. He's not going to be dismissing any motions. He's not going to do anything that significantly helps Lil Durk walk out of that courtroom without having a trial. Now, how and why am I so sure of this? Well, here's the first thing I want to tell you. Most federal judges used to be federal prosecutors, exact prosecutors that are prosecuting Durk. A lot of judges used to stand in that very position. Federal prosecutors can be very biased people, and very rarely, once they put on that black robe and become a judge, do they get rid of those biases, okay? That judge very likely probably thinks that Durk is guilty. He just can't be the one to actually say it.
With the judge throwing out all chances of him having the case thrown out, Durk will have to face the trial if he wants to be set free, and this got creators to react.
Remo, this is my last no jumper. Durk already told me I wasn't supposed to come back up here with that last.
Now look what happened to him.
That man got kids. You talking about look what happened to him.
Definitely not happy about him.
I wouldn't be happy if you go to jail, Adam, because I know you got daughter. Break down.
There's multiple people who are no longer there for their kids as a result of that Durk allegedly called in.
Until they put that on black and white, sir. Stop throwing stuff on a black man who's trying to do something right for the community right now.
The feds have already put out a lot of information about this.
You don't have to put it out. You don't have to put it out. So this is a major platform.
You're not the boss of me. We talk about rap on here. I think it is well within our jurisdiction to talk about the fact
that what type of police is
been alleged to have ordered them
this?
Free smirk though.
Free smirk. But also maybe
police. It's a platform. There's some police.
Just sit down for a little and decide, hey, maybe I'm not anybody else.
We don't have no proof that.
Well,
we don't.
With the bill of particulars being taken under advisement, it left room for Durk to take his chance at another bond, and it had Durk's father believing it was going to happen, as they made a great offer to the judge.
I just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son, for the least for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you. And inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
But the prosecutors claimed there was a snitch in the case and that he showed messages from a group chat from OTF members. This got new reports to read. Lil Durk is facing allegations from federal prosecutors that he put hits on O-Block members for not retaliating for King Von. Prosecutors plan to introduce testimony from a witness who claims Durk gave the orders. Durk was feuding with O-Block member Muna Duke over Durk's belief they weren't retaliating for King Von, which left academics and Whack 100 to speak on the snitches.
To life by basically saying he's guilty of for hire, and the only thing that, like, yes, some of these things look suspect. Why'd you go there? Why are these people going there? Why'd you send this message? But nothing. There's no message that they got that says where Durk says y'all that Quando yet. Nothing says that.
No, you missing the point.
Okay.
They got a witness already cooperating on that. Been had one. We just ain't seen what they said. It's 3 years. One of the cooperating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, fact. That's co-conspiracy too.
I don't know. You don't need too much more than that. One of the is cooperating. Then in the paperwork, you got the conversation. They say they had it in and out. The other 2 was figuring out how they getting paid.
But what's interesting is apparently one of the snitches in the case originally claimed there was no bounty on Quando Rondo's crew, but suddenly he's claiming there was. But what's concerning is that OTF Vonnie is now snitching on Durk too. His court file was updated to show that he wasn't in prison's custody anymore, meaning he is either on house arrest or at a halfway house. Surprisingly, Vonnie actually texted one of his friends about his plea deal details, but his friend leaked it. Vonnie texted, "Yeah, I'm trying to plea out to a 32, which is the base for M for hire. Max is 43, which which is life. I'd get -2 points for a plea, -1 point for an early plea, and -2 points for no background. So I'll have 27 points, which is 5 to 7 years. It's better than that. I can't go to trial. Don't want them to do me like them other boys. As he's referring to OTF Jam, who snitched and has not been heard from in months. But there's another snitch in the case because OTF Diddy's brother Ted is also talking to the feds, which began with the news. The new Ted body cam footage of him begging to snitch against Durk and members has changed this case. Durk's lawyers submitted paperwork for an extended time on their bond proposal, as this has Durk and his co-defendants concerned about what he'll say to the feds, considering that Ted is Diddy's brother and Diddy is Durk's main hitter. The funny part is that Ted wasn't even supposed to be in the case, but he was arrested for having a firearm at a store.
Really? Dude had a. What about that? A man had a with an extended clip. That's cool though, right?
He was then brought to the police station where he instantly began trying to rat on anyone who did crimes.
Come on. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
Everything. I swear to God, I tell you, I will tell you, please, I swear, please.
But they placed him in a waiting cell, and once an officer came to speak to him, he was bawling his eyes out.
Wait, hold on, you gotta relax for me, because I can't understand it. Relax. What's the number? 777, what you saying, man? We're gonna see what we can do for you, all right? We're gonna see what we can do for you. You gotta relax for me. Relax, man. I'm gonna get a bus to prison. Relax. Give me no, I'm saying, what are you talking about? I'm trying to get that.
However, the crimes committed by YNW Melly and Bortlen will leave the two rappers locked up for a long time.
YNW Melly, his real name is Jamel Demmons. He's actually in plain clothes in the courtroom for the first time in months.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night.
As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless.
New evidence against Melly and Bortlen has surfaced. After new evidence found of Sack Chaser making actions towards Melly weeks before passing, prosecutors are submitting a new motive for Melly to commit the crime alongside Bortlen's help, which comes from a YNW affiliate during an interrogation with the police.
What motive would Melly have to kill his two friends?
They just piss him off? I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. Man was on FaceTime, man. Like, y'all don't know, bro. Y'all don't know what Sack was doing to me. Y'all don't know what Sack was doing to me, bro. Like, saying it like Sack was some shit.
Which suggests that Melly had more than just financial motive to commit the crime, and that Melly wanted revenge for what Sack Chaser did to him. He wanted it so bad that a former O Block member revealed that Melly asked King Von how to take someone out.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he killed his two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
With these new pieces of evidence against Melly, the feds didn't even bother going through with the witness tampering trial when the news wrote, Melly will no longer go to trial for witness tampering after prosecutors dropped the charges. The Florida rapper's trial was scheduled to start on Wednesday, January 21st, but the prosecutors dropped the charge a day before. This was a good thing for Melly, as it got rid of one of the charges, but it's setting up his double M trial to be that much worse. Although Melly's lawyer Drew was happy about the witness tampering being dropped and wrote, we now look forward to seeking Melly's release from custody, where he has been held under extraordinarily restrictive conditions for far too long based on premises the state has now abandoned. His release will allow him to fully and meaningfully participate in preparing his defense in the forthcoming proceedings, which we intend to litigate vigorously. Drew will use the evidence the feds had against Melly for the witness tampering case and claim how they're afraid to go to trial. The prosecutors had Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah as a key witness to testify that Melly did tamper, but they dropped the case anyway. In case you didn't know, Mariah was out of the United States because Melly forced her to, and once he returned, she was arrested.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
The police wanted Mariah in the first Melly trial back in 2023, but she stayed out of the country for 3 years before returning back, which ultimately made the state's case a lot weaker, considering they can use Mariah to testify that Melly tampered with her, but also because she was supposedly called by Melly on the night of the crime and it's suspected she knows a lot about what really happened. But with the announcement of Melly getting the tampering charge dropped, it had his mother reacting. God is good and he hears your prayers. Even 50 Cent said Drew Findling is a bad man for beating all these cases. But we start to see the real reason why they dropped the tampering case when it was reported. In the 5-page memo, the prosecutors dropped the witness tampering case against Melly to avoid jeopardizing evidence for his Double M trial. The state moved to drop the case because suppression of jail calls remains unresolved, which risked acquittal and losing critical evidence for the 2027 trial. Prosecutors charged Melly with witness tampering and gang-related offenses tied to efforts to keep key witness Mariah Hamilton from testifying in his Double M case. Financial records show Mariah received more than $31,000 from Melly's management company and associates, plus assistance purchasing a Mercedes despite no reported income. Jail calls, video footage, and inmate notes show Melly directed a relay system through inmates James Howard and Terrence Mathis to pass messages outside jail after losing phone privileges. Later in the memo, it continued by reading, recorded calls and messages instructed associates, including co-defendant Bortlen, to keep Mariah away from court using coded language and nicknames, which was exposed by YNW Juvie's father during an interview 2 years ago.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, trying to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
however, this is smart for the prosecutors to do because they will be able to keep Mariah as a witness for the case that really matters. When you pair what Mariah's testimony will be on the stand with Bortlen's, the case will look very bad for Melly. Because in case you didn't know, Melly's closest friend and co-defendant Bortlen took a plea deal. Bortlen took the plea deal. He also agreed to a proffer, which means he's talking. The sentence is to accessory after the fact, and he will do 10 years plus 6 on probation minus any credit. We've already requested his deposition in the civil case, but this only led to DJ Academics revealing what Bortlen will really be doing when he does the proffer. The judge says on both charges Bortlen pled no contest to. He has to provide a factual basis for him to accept the plea, which means he has to tell a real story of how he committed accessory.
I did tweet out saying people are upset. I said this is a gonna plea. This is a gonna plea. This isn't a plea saying you have to tell on him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gonna plea. Why do I say he signed a gonna plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case, we covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually they have proved, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender. Also, the accessory after the fact plea confirms that Bortlen, that's kind of like almost like a sub part of a conspiracy, except you weren't with the conspiracy at first. You came in after the fact. What that proved is that they came in. Oh my God, my dog's crying. What that proved is that Bortlen worked with someone after he acknowledged that a took place in trying to cover it up. You hear what I just said? When pleading to an accessory to after the fact, you have to acknowledge that the happened and you assisted someone or in some way to cover the. Now, if Melly's statement is, how do we know that? And then secondly, how do we know who did it? Because they said it was a drive-by.
This basically means that Bortlen will have to say the manner of how Sack Chaser and Juvie passed and what he did that made him an accessory. Just for an example, once the crime was done, detectives claim Melly and Bortlen did extra rounds with a firearm into the car to make it look like it was from a drive-by. And if Bortlen admits to doing that, it will be very bad for Melly. Even a defense lawyer who's had a long career admitted that Bortlen doesn't get that good of a deal if he isn't snitching on someone else.
He will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens. A lot of times where guys are in the prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve, he decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases. And I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time. But long story short is it looks like he's going to flip. And it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible.
But in a last-ditch effort to try bettering Melly's situation, his lawyers submitted paperwork in an attempt to get him released. It was announced Melly sues Broward Sheriff's Office for cruel treatment and is seeking immediate release from prison. Melly claims that they have not allowed him to see or speak with any family members in 3 years, which got rappers to react. I like what I'm hearing. Shout out that boy Melly. Free him, he been in there too long. They're claiming that Melly's been living in a freezing jail cell with barely edible food and no contact with other people. He's completely isolated and by himself in the worst conditions, and his lawyers claim it's grounds for a release. Even his mother learned of what Melly's been going through, and it was reported an interview from Melly's mother paints a disturbing picture of Melly's life in jail, making it sound like he won't last much longer. She went into detail on how he can't use the jail phone to call anybody except for his lawyer.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
Melly's mom is heartbroken for her son and just wants him to be living in better conditions.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
However, we saw Charleston White react to this news, and he didn't feel bad one bit. He says Melly deserves this treatment for the crime he's charged with.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing, about being mistreated, when you done chose to play somebody.
But this got the attention of Boosie, who spoke on the stress that Melly's mom has had to go through.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
In order to make a final decision on whether Melly should be given a bond before trial, he heard out both the prosecutors and Melly's lawyers, as the prosecutor started by saying how Melly admitted to the crime.
The PT Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
They also have Melly dancing in the parking lot with Bortlen on the same day that they were taken out, which shows Melly had no sadness for them.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey, but no, still turn, regardless of what happened. You already know.
But some of the worst evidence is video footage from the night of the crime captures Melly getting into the back left seat of the Jeep 30 minutes before the crime, which is important because of the court documents, which read, the direction of the rounds traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where Melly was positioned. Even Juvie's mother confirmed Melly got in the back left seat.
Can you state your name? Your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
Although Melly's lawyers responded by saying how the detectives couldn't even recreate the crime scene accurately because they never found the firearm that was responsible for the crime.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what firearm was used.
Okay.
But the prosecutors then dug into how Bortlen's home raid during the original trial brought up something interesting.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
It was announced, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home, as the notes show drawings of the jurors in the courtroom, with one showing where they were sitting and the other with descriptions of what they looked like, making it look like Bortlen was going to contact some of the jurors, which means that Melly and Bortlen not only witnessed tampered but possibly tampered with the jury.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
But now Bortlen is on the Fed's side, and they will be able to ask him anything in the proffer deal. One main question they want the answer to is why Fredo Bang picked up Melly from the Jeep.
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens then, about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone calls.
Although in order to increase the sentence on Melly's charges, the feds claim Melly was in the Red Street team because he was hanging out with Young Thug. The main reason they want to do this is because if they can prove Melly had ties to a street team, it adds an aggravating factor to his crimes and increases the possible length of them.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Devins has the big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and these individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
Melly knows he's done for if he's found guilty, so he was fine to let them use it, but his lawyers weren't, which led to Melly having an argument with his lawyers.
Yes, sir.
Against our advice, our client must proceed.
People in the court heard that Melly was saying, "I don't care, I'm not in no team." They can't prove that.
I'm aware that 924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the president of the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
Meanwhile, a similar crime was committed by Yungeen Ace and Ksoo.
Jacksonville rapper Yungeen Ace arrested by Jacksonville Beach police around midnight.
Hakeem Robinson has been arrested in the 2019 Adrian Gaynor.
Yeah, back behind.
The Jacksonville police released the official Foolio files revealing the involvement of Yungeen Ace and Ksoo, reading, "Investigators in Jacksonville are starting to hear rapper Ksoo played a role in the passing of Foolio. Being a main member of ATK, there's news of him adding money to the hit pool, a collection of money for bounties to deal with their ops." This raised a major flag in the court file because of the evidence from a gang member claiming there was a $10,000 bounty for Foolio.
Hey, on everything I love, bro. On the dead homies, bro, I put it on everything, on my soul, on my kids. I'm the one that smacked Foolio that night when he got at his birthday celebration, bro. You feel me? I ain't gonna show my face and give my identity away or nothing like that, but you know, I did that, you feel me? It was money on his head, you feel me? I rock with Ace and them boys, you feel me? ATK, you feel me? I be in Jacksonville heavy, you feel me? If you know, you know. But yeah, you feel me? I did that, you feel me? I handled that, cause you know, Ace had that money on his head, you know, Ace had them put that 10K up, told me to slide, told me to cause you know, he got tired of that nigga running his mouth playing all the time, you feel me? So what had to be done, you feel what I'm saying? So I just handled it, you feel me? It was what it is, bro.
Yungeen Ace and Ksoo are longtime friends and close affiliates from Jacksonville's ATK group. Their relationship is rooted in street and music ties, with Ksoo often seen as one of Ace's most loyal associates during the height of their beef against Foolio's crew. But here's where it gets interesting. Ksoo is currently serving a life sentence on a separate M charge, but is now being charged for the passing of Adrian Gaynor, otherwise known as Bibby, who was like a little brother to Foolio.
Every day after school, he'll come to me, like he coming straight to me, we chopping it up, we speaking like, you know, just regular shit. They walk in the house, we dap each other. I'm like, "What's up, little bro? What you been on?" Like, he telling me I went to school, big bro. And guess what school he was going to? I'm like, "Look, bro, I love you, bro. Be safe, you know." And that's how it always ends. Like with so many people with me, like they last word with me be, "I love you. Be safe." You know what I'm saying?
But it's important to watch his facial features when Vlad mentions Ksoo's name being arrested for the passing of Bibby.
There was a rapper named Ksoo.
Yeah.
Who basically was posting videos bragging about, you know, different KTA members, or I mean, whatever you want to call it, and he's talking about f***ing Bibby.
Yeah.
And he actually got arrested for a Bibby.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I don't know why you would commit a murder and then go on the internet and brag about it. It just makes absolutely no sense.
But when the new Foolio files were released, Ksoo pled guilty to the passing of Bibby.
Jacksonville rapper Hakeem Robinson, also known as Ksoo, pleaded guilty to the of Adrian Gaynor Jr., who many people knew as Lil Baby. That guilty plea came during a pre-trial hearing Monday, and the judge sentenced him to 10 years in prison for second-degree murder,
which confirms Yungeen Ace and Ksoo wanted to get anyone affiliated with Foolio taken out. But one viral reply read, "Am I the only one who thinks Ksoo and Yungeen Ace wanted Foolio gone as soon as possible before Foolio got the chance to retaliate for what they did to his lil bro? Because Jacksonville police believe that's what's happening, and the sheriff sent a warning to Yungeen Ace and his crew, ATK, after Julio Foolio's hitters were caught."
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
When you add the evidence of Yungeen Ace with Ksoo's, you learn the truth of what happened to Julio Foolio, because the police found a live stream of Yungeen Ace with his mother, where his mother laughs at Foolio after he had passed.
These are my best friends.
Hey, chat, y'all know what's going on though. Y'all stop playing with us, Talib. You ain't for the churches, but you know what the f go to, boy, get on your boy.
And we want to get that down Fulio, Ludio, whatever.
Chill. But this led to the Jacksonville police further announcing that Yungeen Ace is a target of theirs, and sources say a RICO may be on the way. Typically, they don't announce who they're going after or looking into, but Yungeen Ace and his team have been responsible for many crimes over the last few years in Jacksonville. In the Julio Fulio passing trial, which featured one of the suspects charged for the crime, it was reported, witness who partied with Fulio the night of his passing reveals she dated Yungeen Ace's brother Trevon Bullard. Fans believe testimony during Alicia Andrews' trial will lead to ATK RICO.
Some point when you were younger, did you date someone who was associated with a rapper by the name of Yungeen Ace?
Yeah.
What is Yungeen Ace's real name?
Keontae.
Is that Keontae Bullard?
Mm-hmm.
And who were you dating that was related to Mr. Bullard?
Trayvon.
How is Trayvon Bullard related to Keontae Bullard?
They're brothers.
When did you date him?
In 2018.
And did something happen to him?
Yeah, he passed away.
When did he pass away?
June 5th, 2018.
And how did he pass away?
He got...
Was that a part of this rival?
I'm assuming.
This had fan reactions who tuned into the case saying, this Julio Fulio trial is crazy. The feds are watching. Whoever Yungeen Ace is, they're drafting up your RICO, while also saying their crew stands for Ace Top Getting. Yungeen Ace got further involved with the case when it was revealed he sent meme photos of Julio bottles to one of the suspects after they did the crime to him, proving that Yungeen Ace knew who the suspects were before anyone else, and he knew that they had just taken him out within hours of the crime.
The state presented a picture from Gathrigh's cell phone taken one day after the showing a bottle of Don Julio. The detective testified that, based on knowledge, this represents an insult to the rapper Julio Fulio.
This got Ace to panic because he didn't think they'd tap his phones, and he rushed to shut down his team, ATK. As he tweeted, ain't no such thing as ATK no more. That stuff is gone and over with.
I say no more ATK, it ain't no more. What you talking about? Niggas don't do shit. Niggas don't do shit. Niggas tripping. Everybody always got shit to say. These niggas. When the time for the Lord to be paid, where the niggas be at? Got all this shit to say, where the niggas be at though? Where niggas be need to get buried? When the time to spend that money, where the niggas be? We always got shit to say, but don't be on shit, man. They don't get no feet wet or nothing, man. You niggas be talking, man. What's wrong with these, man? Talking about don't talk like me. Don't get the man. When I say no more ATK, ain't no more.
But the sheriff who's worked with the prosecutors on the Fulio passing case got witnesses to confirm Yungeen Ace is in ATK.
So sorry, not the meaning of ATK, but that Yungeen Ace is a part of ATK. Did you say whether you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. ATK and 6 Block, do those two groups get along?
No.
Charles Jones, just for the jury, is a part of 6 Block, is that correct?
Yeah.
And Yungeen Ace is a part of ATK, is that correct?
Yeah.
And to your knowledge, Alicia Andrews is not a part of either of those groups, correct?
I don't know her.
All right.
Miss Albritton, going back to these drill rap videos, in particular the song of Charles Jones about your boyfriend, is that When I See You? Is that the song that you're talking about?
I guess, yeah.
And that's one of the music or drill rap videos that you don't like, is that correct?
I don't care for them.
In order to prove that they're going after Yungeen Ace, they began shutting down his tour dates, and he was forced to cancel the shows, which got Yungeen Ace mad because they're trying to limit his income so that he won't be able to afford good lawyers.
Jacksonville police and I don't know how they be doing this, but they always call around and cancel my shows. What's up with y'all? What's going on? Why y'all want to cancel my show? I don't even live there in Jacksonville. Why y'all want to cancel my show? Why y'all trying to my money? Yeah, man, y'all trying to my life. Cause y'all worry about what I got going on. I ain't with y'all. Y'all cancel all my shows, but I just had a show in Temple. Y'all got my show canceled in Tampa. I had a show in Virginia. I called, got my show canceled up. I had a show in Gainesville. I canceled my show in Gainesville before. Daytona. You feel me? Like, what's really going on?
But academics asked Ace in an interview if he was responsible for Foolio, and he couldn't even hold back his laugh.
I mean, some people feel like you were behind that.
I'm sure, but people feel like I'm behind a lot. But I'm not. I'm not behind. I'm working. I'm grinding every day. I'm grinding. I got a family. I'm working. I'm grinding. I'm trying to be big. I'm trying to be big.
Although we once again saw the police speaking on Yungeen Ace, claiming they're after Yungeen Ace.
Furthermore, it was found that the shooters are members of or affiliated with rival gangs of Jones that go by ATK and 1200. Jones was part of the 6 block. Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 worked together to target Jones as part of an ongoing feud in Jacksonville.
However, the police files cover exactly how Julio Foolio passed and what happened on the weekend leading up to him being targeted. It all started with the weekend being a celebration for his birthday, but it turned out terribly. Foolio got an Airbnb to host a party for his birthday, and once he got there, he posted on Instagram for everyone to pull up.
Hey, the pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock. DM me for the address or DM Foolio booking ESPN. I'm gonna put it right here. We just got here, bruh. You got to add it. You got to add it, man. Push up. We just got to this bit. Tampa, Florida, man. You already got to add it to the pool party. Push up at 5:30, man. Push up at 5:30, man. We finna get everything right. Push up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, man. It's up.
The party only lasted 2 hours before Foolio and his friends got kicked out of the crib once police showed up and contacted the landlord of the home. But Julio obviously didn't want to cut the night short, so he continued the party and everyone headed over to a nearby club. But for some unknown reason, he posted the advertisement of the club on his Instagram story, which included the address of the club he was going to. To make it even worse, he made another Instagram story once he got to the club saying he was going to the upstairs lounge. With a simple Google search, you could realize exactly where Julio was at.
We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody coming up the stairs. No cap, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as 20 deep, lit everywhere we go.
This let his ops have a lot of time to set up a hit on Julio, and it only took 30 minutes before they had 2 members sitting outside of Julio's club waiting for him to leave. Once Julio was done partying for the night, his manager began looking for places to sleep for the night, and they found a Holiday Inn just a couple blocks away. Once they got to the hotel, his manager went inside to order and check in for all the rooms, but the rest of them waited outside. Within a couple minutes, 2 cars pulled up alongside 3 men coming from the side parking lot with the sole job of taking out Julio. They were in and out within minutes while completing the hit and also hitting 3 other people in Julio's crew, but they recovered. They released surveillance footage from the moments before it happened.
At 4:38, 3 exited a vehicle and walked in the direction of the hotel. They murdered Jones with a hand and 2. This barrage of fire also struck 3 additional victims who miraculously survived this incident. Let's look at this video. This is at the hotel, and you can see the shooters are getting in position for their planned out.
But what goes to show how this really impacts people from the crimes they commit against each other, Julio's cousin did a witness statement on the stand. Julio's cousin, who was in the car with him when it happened, couldn't stop his tears while describing his final moments.
Okay. So you fell asleep after that, after he came back to the car, or you started dozing?
Yes.
Can you just tell the jurors what you saw inside of the car at that point? You said you saw Foolio laid out?
Yeah, first thing I saw Foolio laid out. I thought it was a car accident until I looked up, saw the hose, and I saw Jacob yelling.
Okay, so you thought it was a car accident, and then you looked up, saw the holes, and you saw Zay. Is that Xavier Edwards?
Yes.
You saw him covered in?
Yes.
Okay, so he wanted you to look at his head because he thought he had been hit. And then when you tried to do that, you saw the in your arm?
Yes.
Where were you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Close to my school.
Do you still have a scar from that? Okay. Do you recognize that as Charles Jones' black Charger?
Yes.
Okay. You okay?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yes.
Do you recognize the photograph?
Yes.
Yungeen Ace made it known who was behind the hit because on the same day he released a diss track against Julio with a music video already filmed. Yungeen Ace's right-hand man also dropped a tweet from King Von in the past which read, "Game over, we won. Stupid." And to further prove it was about Julio Fulio, Yungeen Ace switched lyrics that Fulio originally rapped in one of his own songs. Fulio first rapped the lyrics, "Went out to eat on his birthday. 4 hit, 3 passed in the worst way. He kept dissing on me. Now we hitting 23. Ace flipped those lyrics to rap. 4 in the car, and 1 of them gone, 3 got hit, but this wasn't the end of it. Julio's mother then claimed she was targeted up to 8 times and said it was Yungeen Ace behind the attempts.
So now she's a mother. She's not involved. She was a nurse or whatever the case is. This is what I hear. She got 8 times. The police showed up and asked her, "Hey, ma'am, who shot you?" Guess who she allegedly said shot her? Allegedly, she said, "I got shot by Yungeen Ace." Yungeen Ace was on some type of supervised release at the time. Police go, I guess his probation officer say, "Yo, you gotta come in now." And they're about to lock up Yungeen Ace for Fulio's mom.
But one big question remains, which was why did Julio Fulio feel so comfortable to post everything about his whereabouts on his Instagram story? Well, it turns out after listening to a Julio Fulio interview that Ace's team tricked Julio into believing they wanted to stop the crime against each other. They claimed they wanted to make a song with Julio to put an end to it, but it was all in an attempt to get Julio more laid back, and they could go after him when he least expected it.
No record. Y'all probably didn't know this. Even though I said what I said, my bro. Me and J.Breeze supposed to be doing a Stop the Violence song. We probably gonna get that shit in motion. So I'm gonna get that shit out the way for the kids, for the youth and shit. And yeah, we gotta make this look better, man.
You and J.Breezy have a Stop the Violence record coming.
Yeah, that shit, it's talked about. I DM'd about it. My big cousin wrote him about it too. He said he with it, I'm with it. But basically right now we trying to find a beat.
There's no other explanation why Julio would make this mistake multiple times throughout the day and night if he thought he had anything to worry about. Regardless, he shouldn't have posted anything about it until the next day because that's what rappers have started to do to keep themselves safe. Pop Smoke and PNB Rock are prime examples of why you can't share too much on the internet because Julio got pulled up on from social media posts just like how they were. But either way, Julio had a target on his back from all the crimes he did against Ace's crew. It's believed his passing is a direct result of them wanting revenge for the passing of ATK Mitch, which happened in 2022. Julio was actually pulled over and questioned about the passing years ago.
Alright, so I ain't want to bring it up, I know you're going to be upset. Mitch, there's some texts I want to talk to you real quick about what happened to Mitch.
How long that's gonna take?
Not that long, depends on you. They're just gonna ask what you know about what happened.
Julio obviously wasn't willing to give up anything off the rip, so they detained him and brought him in for an interrogation.
I used to come to my mama's house. I used to stay on the corner. He used to come over there, show his, you know what I'm saying, support.
What type of work do you do? What type of
artist?
You're an artist. Okay. As far as Mitch go, what are you hearing?
Nah, really, I was in Miami when I heard the news. You know what I'm saying? I was down making music, and I saw posting on Instagram, Mitch. Everybody, the whole Jacksonville, Mitch.
Although Fulio was too smart and knew the detectives didn't have any evidence against him.
All right, the reason why I'm here, I am lead on your friend's case.
Who?
You have a friend that recently got killed?
A lot of friends that,
recently? Mitch?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm lead on that. I don't know how close you guys were. Can you kind of give me just run down on y'all relationship when y'all met? How long y'all been partners or whatever?
They knew they couldn't tie Julio directly to the crime yet and continued trying to fish for information, but Julio told them nothing.
Guys, if you may know or hear something, that'd be helpful as well. Because if you know his mom, you can sit up there and call his mom, then I'm pretty sure you would want her to have some answers as well.
My little brother, I don't know who did. I don't know. I ain't here. That's what I'm saying. You'll never know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. No, I just heard they say little brother got. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Miami at the time though.
You ain't tired of that, man?
Yeah.
But I'm none of this.
Although to switch up the interrogation and to try making Julio feel bad, they asked if he thought that his music was a big reason why so much crime happens in Jacksonville.
Do you think that your music or your ways or the way you conduct yourself through your music had anything to do with him?
Nah, because even before I was rapping, it was, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say it's my music, that's why somebody, you get what I'm saying?
Okay, do you think it influenced someone or triggered someone, like the way y'all going back and forth with this? Do you feel that way?
Nah, a song can't make no do nothing, bro.
But the police files would end with this last Yungeen Ace Instagram live where fans asked him about Julio Fulio, and he tried to make it seem like he respected Fulio, but it just comes off as fake and sarcastic. As you can tell that Ace hated Julio Fulio.
What you think about Fulio thing, cuz? That's sad, twin. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Y'all boys in the street, y'all didn't leave the streets alone, twin. I'll condone this that, but y'all just gotta, y'all gotta. It's so funny, cause me, bro, like we cool, like we was cool and shit, you feel me? Me and him, like we cool. I was just so funny. I was just talking to him. I'm like, bro, you gotta stop the way, bro. You know, love you out here, like stop the way, real shit. Like, you know, I with your real shit, stop the way.
However, David committed one of the most serious crimes just recently.
For weeks, we've been wondering just what it was that a private investigator named Steve Fisher found inside David's home when he was given access last October.
This is big. This is big because it was always a question of whether or not they were really investigating him and gathering evidence regarding a charge.
Today's court hearing in the Celeste case revealed David's involvement, including the judge demanding David's arrest. The February 25th court hearing in the Celeste case revealed David is now the #1 suspect. The judge demands David's arrest to face a grand jury in the passing of Celeste. Inside the court files, it reads, investigation by the state of California against target David, where the target may be involved in having committed the following offenses. 1 count of M.
That there is now pending in the Superior Court of the County of Los Angeles the above entitled grand jury investigation by the state of California against target David Burke, wherein target may be involved in having committed the following criminal offenses against the laws of the state of California, to wit, 1 count of murder. This is big. This is big because it was always a question of whether or not they were really investigating him and gathering evidence regarding a charge.
They were able to make David the #1 suspect after what was found on his iPhone. Shown in the courtroom today, the tweet reads, "Hey David, were you sitting on this hill next to a drainage gully thinking about what you did to her?" Where David took several suspicious photos in one night, documenting his tracks of what he was doing. But it gets worse for David when it was written, David's family has been summoned to testify as witnesses before a grand jury in the passing of Celeste Rivas. This only happened because hours before David's Tesla was going to be auctioned off from the impound lot, it was picked up.
Let me read you what Steve recently posted on X, okay? David's Tesla, the vehicle in which Celeste Rivas Hernandez was found, was held by LAPD for only 48 hours to process evidence. After that, it was returned to the impound lot for David to retrieve, which he had not done until today. The Tesla was scheduled to go to auction tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and I had planned to attend and inspect it. However, in the final hours before auction, David, or someone with power of attorney acting on his behalf, picked it up. When I checked last week, the storage fees were approximately $10,500 as the vehicle had been released and available for pickup since September 10th, before Celeste had been identified. I hope just the thought of that vehicle haunts David and anyone else that knew Celeste was in the trunk for the rest of their lives.
But this just proved that David is aware of everything happening and that he wanted his Tesla back at the last moment. But this just led to the news reporting. David will likely face M charges for the passing of Celeste Rivas, and that's because the grand jury that's hearing the case will be asked to hand down an indictment. Complex Music had the same information, and they're speeding up everything in court because of what was found in David's rental home. It was reported that the private investigator revealed an incinerator capable of burning up to 1,600 degrees was found in David's house. The incinerator is actually illegal to own as a regular resident without a farm, which makes you question even more why David had it. It makes it look like they had a clear plan for what they were going to do in order to get rid of Celeste, and it seemed like they ran out of time before David had to go on tour. It's also believed that Celeste was staying at David's second rental home, which was a lot more private, and it just so happened that David made a video in that house in February 2025. Around this time was also when he ditched using the black Tesla and started using a red one instead. Investigators find this video extremely interesting when you realize, with what David's saying, that this could have been him having a realization of everything that happened with Celeste.
Hey guys, I know I haven't posted on this account in a little minute, but I just had some words to share with you for 2025. Despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil, the natural disasters, the and pain and things like that this year, I just wanted to tell you guys not to be discouraged and not to lose hope and not to turn your face from God in these times of evil. And it seems like just at the start of the year, it's literally January, and all this stuff is happening. It's like the most insane, it's February now, it's the most insane start to a year that I've ever seen. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So keep that sound mind, 2025. Stay prayed up.
As he's quite literally saying he wants people to stop passing. Obviously, this could be argued he was talking about world issues, but the vibe of the video is weird with how he's saying it. But it was at this point that the feds acknowledged there's a clear second suspect in the case, which turns out to be David's close friend Neo. Not only has the private investigator clearly noted that Neo is involved with this entire situation, but it's possible he got into a relationship with David at some point in 2025, as you'll see photos of the two spending time together at house parties, making the Titanic pose and laying down with each other.
You know who that person is, and do you believe that is the person that moved the Tesla?
So I definitely know who moved that Tesla on that late July before they went on tour. I can't say who the person, and I can't say but I don't know who exactly was in that house, because it's just a report, but there's video, but you can't make a person out. But somebody was in the house, and being that there's only one key, it's like, okay, who had access at that time? So is it the same person that moved the Tesla? Was another last part of the plan about to go in motion as far as getting rid of her? I don't know.
This is what got the report of Neo getting arrested. Neo Langston has been arrested for failing to appear as a witness. David is expected to be charged in the case of Celeste. Neo was in Montana trying to hide out or spend his last minutes with his family in case he goes to jail for life, as it was reported. Neo Langston has been arrested in Montana on a Los Angeles Superior Court warrant for failure to appear for testimony. He was then brought to Los Angeles within that same week to appear in court, but was released after he posted bond. But locals in the area captured the moment of Neo being arrested, with 7 officers on the scene. The feds have a good idea that Neo was behind the crime in one way or another. And while it's been a slow process, this is a step in the right direction for getting justice for Celeste. Neo's so important to the case that based on investigator Steve's findings and David's social media, they believe Neo was the one who last drove the Tesla until it was towed away. With Neo being the one suspected of knowingly taking the Tesla away from the house with Celeste, people began theorizing what their motive could have been. Considering Neo and David got a lot closer with each other, it's possible David and Celeste had a falling out. This might have left David and Neo thinking that Celeste could have easily exposed him for everything, so they decided to do the crime in hopes of keeping David's career afloat. Although, when Neo's name began getting brought up widely online, TMZ suddenly reported on a new update that turned out to be completely false. Celeste was found frozen in David's car, which the medical examiner says will likely make it impossible to determine the cause of passing. The police still see Celeste's passing as foul play and can make an arrest even if the cause is undetermined, as this had a creator reacting to it.
For quite some time, a lot of people were curious as to when she could have passed away. If she passed away at the beginning of 2025, why did she only just start smelling in September of 2025? Well, according to what we are hearing from sources close to LAPD, it seems as if Celeste Rivas Hernandez was actually frozen for a period of time. Freezing up would preserve that for an extended period of time, and it seems as if she was removed from being in a frozen state and put in David's Tesla. And because of that, the medical examiner is likely not going to be able to determine a CO.
The police department came out with a clear statement to say that this was completely fabricated, which left people wondering how and why TMZ released a fake report. But many believe it's because Neo's team tried to spread misinformation to confuse the public's opinion on the case. However, the private investigator revealed new photos from David's phone when he reported. On December 30th to December 31st, 2024, David and Celeste were together in Los Angeles, which came with weird photos from David's camera roll that showed a group of people in the forest and another picture of a shed during the middle of the night. While the pictures might not have too much significance, we heard from the investigator again, revealing the last photo of Celeste that he's uncovered. January 2nd, 2025 is the date of the last known photo my investigation has uncovered of Celeste. Law enforcement has access to better resources and may have images after this date, but this photo was taken in the Baldwin Hills on January 2nd. It shows Celeste in what looks to be a designer ripped style hoodie, and if you were to guess where else we see that hoodie, you'd recognize it in this picture of David from one of his posts. As you can clearly see what looks to be the same same exact hoodie that Celeste was wearing, not only showing that they were together at that point, which is believed to be close to when she passed, but Celeste was seen with David a long time before that when they were on stream together.
Yo, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one? What's good, David? Big fan, big spot me. Bro, thank you. Mitchell.
I gotta stop with him if you even. We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
But with endless findings that tied David to Celeste, they made a move on it, as they reported all the weird things coming out about David since the case, and how it ended with the police at his parents' door. On September 18th, David transferred his Texas homes into his mom's name, which is the same day Celeste was identified from the Tesla, a day before the police did a search warrant on his rental home. But someone made a police call and falsely reported an incident with someone passing at his family house in Texas. When police arrived, they were met by David's parents, who said his younger brother and sister were upstairs.
No, out of all times for this to happen, as he's discovered in his car, after she's been identified, for there to be a potential swatting incident where somebody calls 911 with a fake allegation, a fake crime for their property, out of all people, out of all times, it's weird.
Well, it's weird, but it doesn't necessarily surprise me because this case has taken on national significance in terms of people paying attention to it. And there are bad actors that understand how to bring somebody by way of swatting. So somebody called the 911 system down there. They found the address online and were basically made up a story for the cops to go there. And then they went in, and fortunately the police were very professional and they were able to immediately understand that it was a swatting incident and it wasn't a legitimate call.
But someone did this because they were desperate to find where David had been hiding out. No one has publicly seen him or reported on his whereabouts, so they figured they'd try to see if he was with his parents. Even the investigator finding all the information out on the case doesn't know where he is.
Do you have any indication about where David is right now?
I don't. I have no idea. And it's kind of bizarre because his group has stayed so silent, what's left of his group, I guess. And I'm not even sure the conversations that the owner did have with his management in breaking that lease. I'm not even 100% sure his management knows at this time where he's at. I think his attorney might be the only one, and his parents.
But despite David transferring his houses out of his name and into his mother's name, it might not matter. If charges are brought on David, the prosecutors will be able to reverse the house transfer and use the money from the houses to pay money to Celeste's family for the crime.
You know, transferring these assets in the middle of an investigation, as opposed to 2 years ago or a year ago.
Right.
Could a court look at this and say, this was a deliberate attempt to, what you say, concealing assets, and they could breach it, they could pierce it, they could say, even though that you've transferred this into your mother's name, that was invalid. This is a way for, let's say, a plaintiff who sues him, or let's say in a criminal judgment to pay that fine. Can a court look at that and say, even though you transferred it, it's still open season on those properties?
Yeah, this is what's so puzzling about this. It is a very basic premise of law throughout the country that you can't transfer assets after the event happens that would otherwise trigger collecting on those assets. So we have rules in different states. Sometimes they're called fraudulent transfers. Sometimes they're called fraudulent conveyances. There's a lot of different names for them. But the crux of it is you cannot transfer assets.
Meaning his attempt at saving his assets and money for his family won't work out for him. However, with this case being one of the biggest stories when the news broke, people dug up his old interviews, which have questionable moments. Like the time when David was asked where he wanted to be in the future. David said how he wanted to be on an island with no social media in 4 years, which is the same timing as when Celeste would have been an adult. Which means, despite her being reported as a missing person, she would have been able to leave the country.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Okay, so the plan is hopefully this music thing takes off crazy next year.
Why is he saying, why are you saying that like you're not like up there?
Well, I'm not there yet, but hopefully it's like even crazier next year. And then I go on crazy year after year for the next 3 years. And then on the 4th year, I retire. And on the 5th year, I'm off the grid, living somewhere like on an island with this crazy crib. No social media, no digital footprint. I'm just gone. I'm just gone. In 5 years, I'm gonna be gone.
Will you still remember me?
Yeah, bro. You'll have like the secret codes to the mansion. You can pull up on every.
What's the secret code? Give us the first 2 numbers.
Absolutely not.
But the situation gets worse when you find there were more accessories they shared together, like this short-haired blue wig that both of them were seen wearing in pictures. Obviously, you could argue they both could have owned separate wigs, but how many coincidences does it take until it's confirmed that David was very close to Celeste and likely played a part in her passing? However, there's a second interview that people brought up which revealed how David claims he made an alter ego for his music videos, which loves to commit crimes. Although you have to wonder if music videos were imitating reality.
Basically, an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego, and the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden. And he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it. Like it was in the vault for.
He could have used plenty of other crimes as an example, but he specifically chose the one he's accused of doing. With it being many months since the crime came on the news, David hasn't made a single statement online about it. The only activity we've seen of him online was when someone said, if anyone's wondering where David is at, he's lurking and has been playing Fortnite. People looked up his account on Fortnite Tracker and found that he had been playing Fortnite within the hour they searched. Since then, his account has gone private on the website, so we can't get updates from it. People were in disbelief at how little he cared, and a viral reaction wrote, there's no way that's David's first response to all of this happening. If he knows he's innocent, he should have gone about it in a different way. However, comment if you think David's guilty, and like the vid if you want him arrested soon. Curious how many of you do. However, Tory Lanez is currently in prison for committing a crime against another rapper in the industry.
Meanwhile, musician Tory Lanez convicted of rapper Megan Thee Stallion sentenced to 10 years in prison. A judge in Los Angeles handing down that sentence today, culminating a case that filled gossip pages and polarized the music industry.
Meanwhile, the Tupac passing files were updated, naming artists and rappers who were involved that will face a long time in prison.
I remember on Bob First, you actually blamed Suge for Tupac getting killed.
Yeah.
Because it should have been up to him to protect him.
I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the book.
I'm going to disclose the facts as they are. I mean, whether they're dead or alive, I'm going to tell the same story because that's my job, is to get to the truth of the matter.
The Las Vegas court system finally released all the Tupac files, proving who did the crime against him and even his own friends being involved. This got fan reactions reading, the new Tupac files are making me question everything. Why is there evidence of Snoop knowing Tupac was going to be hit, Suge wanting Tupac gone so he couldn't leave the record label, and Diddy paying for the hit? He needed new friends. As in the first page of the new Tupac files, it states on November 18th, 1995, Tupac was photographed with Sean Diddy Combs' baby mama, Sarah Chapman. Diddy described Sarah as being the one. She's his dream girl. So when she got with Tupac, Diddy didn't like it, which resulted in his first attempt at getting Tupac, which was swept under the rug by police.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the book. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
With his first attempt being a failure, he tried again. In the Diddy trial, it was announced, former cop claims Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million. Suge retaliated, having Biggie dealt with, as Diddy hired Keefe D to get Tupac. Then after 20 years of walking free, when the police finally arrested Keefe D, he did an interrogation. He didn't know he was being recorded when confessing Diddy was the lead man of the crime.
On all 4 of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
However, deeper in the files, it reveals Suge Knight and Snoop Dogg's involvement. To understand the Tupac files, it's important to hear words from his father. Reading, Tupac's biological father says if he would have been a better father, Tupac would still be alive today because he would have never trusted Suge Knight. But because he wasn't there, he looked at Suge like a father figure. Suge stole all of his money.
Well, Suge Knight. Right. I feel so bad. I gotta live the rest of my life realizing that maybe if I was a better father, he might not have gotten that situation. He might have had enough wisdom to know that this motherfucker nothing but a scoundrel. But he looked up to him like a father. Then to find out a year, 8 months later, that he's cheating him out of all of his money, that's the final betrayal.
Tupac's dad said this because the news reported the reinvestigation of Tupac's passing is revealing new names and evidence of those involved. New name brought up is Suge Knight, as Suge Knight was mentioned a lot in the Tupac files, and the police said how Suge's story has been weird the entire time. He was the one who was supposed to be responsible for Tupac's safety, as they mainly questioned why Tupac had no security when Suge came from a security background.
First of all, you seen what happened. Suge understands who he's dealing with, or what that just happened with, right?
Yeah.
I would have off the top shut my artist down. And if I would have shut him down, I would have moved him in a way to where could nobody get to him. Sure, you know what you doing, don't do. Like, it ain't no security on him.
It was even weirder when Suge spoke on the situation, saying, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
However, the feds confirmed that Tupac was supposedly in a deep sleep while in the hospital, so it wouldn't have been possible for Tupac to be talking and laughing with Suge. However, a new detective, Russell Poole, claimed that Suge arranged the passing before Tupac exited his music label and framed the rival Crips to throw off the feds. You soon find out that one of the main people they tried to frame for the crime was Snoop Dogg. Not only was he one of the most famous Crips at the time, but Snoop also mentioned how he was supposed to be with Tupac on that night.
With Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
He said he was supposed to be in the BMW with them, but Tupac got angry with him a couple of days prior, according to Snoop.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. The bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
But both Diddy and Suge did such a good job at framing Snoop that a reaction wrote, "Is anyone going to mention how Snoop Dogg could have stopped Tupac from passing? These new files coming out is upsetting knowing Tupac should still be alive," which came with another reaction from Faison Love with the news.
I always felt when Pac died, it was because Snoop could have stopped that whole thing. I mean, because like I said, Snoop was a Crip. Pac offended some Crips. Doing some game, some dumb, really. It was set off a whole chain of events. You know, in LA don't get mad, they get even. So, you want a real Pac story? That's my Pac story. Pac would be alive today if he had stayed allies with Snoop and not cross Snoop.
You have to remember it was more believable that Snoop could have been involved back in the 90s because he was a lot more tapped into the streets. Nowadays, he's nowhere close to street crime, but people speculated that he could have been one of the Crips who were told about the $1 million bounty on Tupac. But Snoop kept the same story that Tupac didn't like him anymore.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I like them. I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like trying to kill me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with them. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked the music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. There's video footage of all of us hanging out.
But the police found out Diddy was behind it, which got people who were interested in the case to explain how Diddy was jealous of everything Tupac did and who he was as a person.
Tupac was a shining example of everything that Diddy wanted to be, and he was that naturally. He was charismatic, he was sought after, desired, he was very well liked and a naturally likable person. He was charming, he actually had intrinsic talent, he was a star. He was what Diddy tried to force his way into becoming. Diddy, through force, through manipulation, through fear-mongering, tried to become loved and adored and liked, but all he could manage is like a twisted clone of that he was able to garner through fear. But back to my original point, he thought he triumphed over Tupac by when actually what he did was make Tupac immortal. And by Diddy continuing to live and earn more wealth and, in his mind, earn more adoration, he thought he triumphed. He thought he won overall.
Despite the Diddy documentary already doing a lot of damage to Diddy's image, there's apparently going to be more released on him. With it announced, 50 Cent says it's not over. More unreleased Diddy footage that didn't make the Netflix documentary is coming to YouTube, including footage about how Diddy started a family with Tupac's ex-girlfriend, because Diddy has a daughter named Chance Combs that he had with Sarah Chapman in 2006, and she used to date Tupac back in 1995. Many believe this was why Diddy went after Tupac the first time. This got people to question Diddy's character, and he was called out in an interview.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Diddy was questioned on his involvement during his trial when it was reported. Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's passing after being mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing. The feds claim Keffe D was hired by Diddy to get a team to take out Tupac. But what's interesting is that the person who wrote a biography on Tupac said how Tupac wasn't as tough as he portrayed. He didn't know how to defend himself or use a firearm.
Because he died because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot. He wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
100% method acted it.
But they shared how the day went down when Tupac was targeted. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Vegas with Suge Knight to watch a Mike Tyson match. Once it wrapped up, Tupac got into a brawl with a man in the lobby who just so happened to be from the Crips.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keffe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and two of their friends were also there. Keffe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Once the altercation settled down, Tupac went back to his hotel to change his clothes. Once nighttime rolled around, Tupac and Suge met up again to hop in the BMW on the way to a club, but they would get stopped in the middle of the street where Keffe D did the crime to them.
Just knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keffe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
Surprisingly, the police had no idea who did the crime despite Keffe D mentioning how they literally stuck around near the crime scene. The crime was a mystery for over a decade, but once Keffe D began opening his mouth in an interview with DJ Vlad, the feds caught on. He described what it was like pulling up on Tupac.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was gonna go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up, towards the BMW with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
Keefe D even said how Tupac pulled up a firearm before they did the crime to him, but that report isn't confirmed to be true.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
what
started at Tupac and Suge.
But with Keefe D being around the crime scene not long after it happened, the feds actually interrogated him because they thought he was suspicious, but nothing came from it.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the line.
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him throwing Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
But they found his reaction to the case in the current day, and he seems like he regrets what he did.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Cause it up a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happen. Probably to God. I feel they should, that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
But the files get weird when you realize that Tupac was supposedly an industry plant, according to a former officer. They wanted Tupac to stop the beef between the red and blue street teams, but it didn't work.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Mutulu Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
But it gets even weirder when you realize that there's a 2010 interview from Tupac's friend Treach. Treach and Tupac used to make music together, but in this interview, the camera goes down and the interviewer asks him a weird question. Out of nowhere, he asks him when the last time he saw Tupac was, and rather than wondering why he'd asked the question or hesitating, Treach answered it like normal and said he was in Cuba.
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows.
Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man.
We good. Last time I saw him, he was in church.
Only a few weeks afterwards, Tupac was spotted in a parking lot in Cuba.
Zoom in. That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
This made the Tupac is alive in Cuba theory. And not only did Suge Knight say earlier on in the video that he thought Tupac was alive and recovering well, but he said it again in another interview years apart.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
However, Suge Knight decided to stop talking about Tupac when he was targeted by a man 2 weeks after the interview. He used a firearm in Suge's direction 6 times, which got him to stop talking. However, Suge's son years later began talking about Tupac again. He posted to Instagram with a picture of Tupac saying he was alive and living in Malaysia. Supposedly, a couple of days after that, he was texted by a random phone number which said, "You said too much, time for you to go," which led to Suge's son posting pictures of Tupac with celebrities that he would have never met before he passed, like 50 Cent and Beyonce, while captioning the post, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon." Many people, of course, think Suge's son was hungry for attention online, but others believe if anyone was to know something, it would likely be Suge Knight and his son, because Suge Knight was the closest person to Tupac. However, the Atlanta police are about to sentence one of the biggest rappers to several years in prison, which is Lil Baby. Here's why.
This morning, we have new details in the that hurt 49ers defensive end Keon White.
It happened early yesterday morning at a nightclub in San Francisco's Mission District. White was hosting a Super Bowl party at Delia Lounge on Mission Street. At some point, White got into an argument involving rapper Lil Baby.
New updates in the Lil Baby 4PF incident involving NFL player Keion White are concerning. The news wrote, after no arrests have been made in the NFL Super Bowl incident involving Lil Baby and player Keion White, investigators believe instead of police making a move, they'll use it as leverage to get Baby instead, which is exactly what DJ Academics predicted would happen 1 week ago.
This is on camera. They know who did it. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. If they don't arrest the person who did the person, Lil Baby's cooked. Facts. Remember, I'll tell you that. If they don't arrest the person who at this club within 2 weeks, Lil Baby's cooked. I'm gonna tell you why. If they have camera proof of who did the and they don't arrest you, it's because they haven't done the case. Remember that. Just remember that. So, I just want to point this out to you. This is not the 80s. Y'all somebody in a club in an entranceway or hallway where there's cameras. I get it. Everybody done flew back to Atlanta, flew back to wherever it came from. But if there's not an arrest warrant put out in the next 2 weeks or an arrest made, just remember, this doesn't go away.
But now, on February 21st, the truth of Baby's involvement has been revealed, beginning with the news of Lil Baby is reportedly accused of getting into a dispute with Keion White, who was hit a short time later, as investigators wrote the details of the situation by saying, on Monday, February 9th, Bay Area news outlet the San Francisco Standard reported on the incident, which occurred during a Super Bowl after party at Dahlia nightclub. A witness tells police Baby and his entourage tried to enter White's private section, which resulted in an argument between Lil Baby and White. The witness left the level of the club to notify management when they heard 2 rounds and returned to find White hit in the leg.
Window is like right by my bed, and so I saw lights. Like, I think that's why I woke up at first. I think I kind of knew that it wasn't like the most safe place, but honestly, I mean, like, it kind of seems par for the course. Like, I'm not like entirely like, how could this happen here?
This got reactions of fans to say, Baby really just popped out on some gangster stuff and hit up an NFL player to prove to us he's still gangster. But Lil Baby immediately lost the street cred when he was scared of a boxing match against Academics.
Sold 34,000 the first week. How did you want 40 million, man? This is delusional, man. Atlanta looking crazy right now, man. Full pocket full of hoes. This is crazy. How you ducking a fade with me? They want 40 million. The niggas acting like this is Jake. This nigga acting like this is Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fighting. Cause somebody yo, have you seen this? Yo, this can't be serious, bro. Bro, I wouldn't be even asking for that. And low key, yo, I'm gonna keep it a beam with you. Know, I said whatever he get. I thought he was gonna be realistic. I thought Lil Baby is on some like he's gangster. So I'm like, yo, I bet. What's up? Let's like, cause I'm telling you, he's like a scrawny. I'm like, I bet. Whatever he get, just give me half. Ain't you a nigga? Y'all should be fighting for fun. You squabble up just cuz. I'm the one that everybody says probably never had a fight. Okay, you're my first fight. You get to knock me out for all this that I taught before and will continue to talk till we squabble.
But it makes no sense why he's dodging, considering Baby first dissed Academics by saying Academics guys think they can't get touched. But it gets even more interesting when it was reported the feds have been investigating Baby, building a case of evidence against him. This new beef with DJ Academics will likely spark the first set of arrests in the 4PF camp making its way to Baby. It's clear to the feds that 4PF has been on a crime spree, and Academics even confirmed he got slapped by Baby's cameraman K Rich in Miami. With this picture of Academics' right-hand guy with the police after the situation. Clearly, the situation was big enough to the point of the cops being called. K Rich even bragged about doing it to Academics later on.
So boom, and he said something, bro, I swear to God, right hand of God. I smacked the shit, right hand of God, bro, I smacked.
You smacked Academics?
Yes, and then listen, after I smacked him, listen.
Yo, Lil Baby, eat a. I'm not even gonna address it, Lil Baby, you eat a. Because I don't know this. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm getting that Lil Baby, because I've been waiting for this. I can't take it out on a nigga I don't know. I'm up tens of millions of dollars. I'm taking it out on this boss. Yo, Lil Baby, if this is what you believe or he believe, both y'all eat it. Whatever y'all think, that's what it is. Both y'all.
But some fans asked what this had to do with Lil Baby, which is when it was reported. DJ Academics claims Baby's camp paid him $30,000 to chill on album criticism, then allegedly backdoored him anyway by sending K Rich to swing on him. Lil Baby was scared of Academics saying his actual thoughts about his upcoming album and tried to pay him off.
The Lil Baby got to drop his new album. And I'm gonna start getting really I'm gonna start really getting on business. Yo, Lil Baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album. And I sat there and I realized, I said, well, if you pay me $30,000, there ain't no way you sent a come swing on me. Why would you do that? Don't make no sense. $30,000 you could pay for a hit. Why the would you send to come swing on me for pennies and to clean your balls in your drawers and then pay me $30,000? I got the receipts posted just. Why would you pay me afterwards? Cause y'all whole demeanor was an act. You a wave, and I said I'll fall back. I said I can't lie to, but I'll fall back, and y'all paid me to do it. Y'all paid me.
But with Baby messing with academics, he says the price to pay him off is now $300,000.
Yo, Baby, you gonna have to pay me to get off your for this next time. Y'all paid me 30 bands already. The price is now 300 bands. Straight up, the price done went up 300 bands. You have this who you sent. Yo, Lil Baby, stop the bullshit. You sent this to go do this bullshit. When I called you up, you acted like, oh, wait, what happened about? Yo, do you know this K Rich? I call every in Atlanta. You know what they say? But that's his assistant. That's his name. Wait, he act like you don't know him? Yo, I talked to him. He say, Lord, pay me for your album tonight. Yo, I'm on your forever. Remember that. So listen, I'm only saying this because I think this little K-Rich thing, I'm going to go back and forth with him. Let me tell you this, I'm going to cost your boss $1 million. I did this to the best of them, and I'm going to do it to him.
Lil Baby's been nervous about getting attention from the feds for some time. Ever since Young Thug got locked up and eventually released, Lil Baby's been a lot quieter than normal. But what's really interesting is that Lil Baby's boy K Rich was claiming the hit was for 4PF.
And Baby, you got to respond to it. I don't make this loud. You got to respond to this. You're going to either be pussy or you're going to stand on it and say, I did backdoor that. You thought it was cool? When I asked you in the morning, you know what you said? So the first thing I said, yo, bro, you know what came up to me? He said some 4PF. You know the first thing you said? Yo, act, chill, act, man, you on that police. You scared of this 4PF. Bet, cool. I say, yo, nah, Baby, like this was. So he's like, act, what? You acting dumb.
With the two incidents combined, it's only continuing to add to a RICO file and charges that are coming Lil Baby's way. In case you didn't know, they've been watching Lil Baby and his team from the same time that Young Thug was arrested. They even brought it up in court about Lil Baby reporting, investigator is on the stand. We are listening to wiretapped calls. Someone mentioned that Baby had tickets on some people's heads.
Like, come on, bro, you know what's finna go on. Like, how the hell you can, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even like that, man. Got tickets on a lot of these folks, I'm telling you.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unk, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unk.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders?
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by a price? What do you mean on somebody's head? What is that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. To have them arrested?
Harm. Or
and who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
All right, moving on.
This means the investigators are claiming Lil Baby was essentially committing M for hire and placing bounties on people he wanted taken out. But we heard from academics that the city of Atlanta is preparing to take on Lil Baby with charges.
So there's this journalist, he's out of Atlanta. Well-reputed journalist. His name is George Cheedy. Like, he was the person who was very accurate on predicting that YSL was going to get indicted in a RICO. He's an Atlanta journalist, certified. He's really good. He's came out and he said that the Atlanta Public Defenders Council, like the office, they're basically their specialized unit for Georgia's Public Defender's Office. The one the unit that specializes on gang cases says the office is actively preparing for a racketeering indictment on the 4PF and OMF case. Now, I don't know what OMF is, and that he expects Lil Baby to be indicted.
But the internet got pretty angry with the feds down in Atlanta when Young Thug came to Lil Baby's defense and tweeted, "Biggest liar in the DA office," as he exposed what the investigator looked like while also calling her out for lying on Lil Baby's name, which had academics explaining more on the investigator that's going after Lil Baby.
What Young Thug did to have and this is how you know this 4PF is real. Young Thug posted the woman. This is Marissa Vivierdo. He said, biggest liar in the DA office. He posted her, okay? And then he also reposted, all my homies hate Vivierdo. Now, this is someone who is a officer of the law. This is someone who is a government official. When you do that and you're under probation, the government is gonna be like, oh, you sending a smoke signal that people should hurt this woman? That's why they're doing a motion to revoke his shit. Why did he do this? Because she's testifying in the OMF case, and she's basically saying, yo, OMF and 4PF, Lil Baby and them, they're beefing and is dying, and indictment's finna come down.
But with all the talks of charges floating around Lil Baby's name, he rushed to close 4PF as fast as possible because he was worried one of his associates committing crimes would drag him into a RICO. As Baby reveals, he ended the label to avoid it being labeled as a street team.
First 4 Pockets 4 had to come to an end. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. When you say of course, I mean, why you say of course?
Because it's all shit that be going on. And I had to start learning that, like, other people's actions I could be held accountable for.
Right.
I ain't know all that at first. You know what I'm saying? I never would have went that route, but I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Now that I know, I'll be a fool to just keep the same thing going. They trying to make something out of something that it ain't. Right. Like, if I got any kind of control of, hey, we're gonna switch that whole thing up. It ain't even just about the police, it's just period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was supposed to make my label something that I talk about.
Although there are more situations going on with Lil Baby legally because he was called out by Atlanta police for being responsible for the passing of 2 people. With the statement writing, the Atlanta PD announced 7 arrests had been made in connection to the passing of Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman. Major Ralph stated the incidents were part of an incident that started when Baby was filming a music video and it got 3 people injured. They added on to it further by saying they will work relentlessly to hold Lil Baby accountable.
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence was orchestrated by adults in our city, and cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
But the way this entire situation went down was because Lil Baby was recording a video in his ops territory.
Between the books, it was nothing but
At least 25 fired.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was just a concert. I was waiting for Lil Baby to come buy my tacos up.
The lady who was on the news was actually the person who posted a Facebook video online saying that Lil Baby was in the area, and this video is supposedly what got the ops' attention to come to the scene and do the crime.
Where y'all lying? We over here kicking in. We got Lil Baby shooting a video around here. You know how we do it, that slapping taco. Baby, there he go, there he go. Y'all see him? He came to get him some tacos, baby. Y'all better pull up, cause you already know how he doing this slapping tacos, baby.
However, with Lil Baby having many legal issues around him lately, people wonder if Baby is being targeted for a specific reason, as some fans think he's being targeted because of how Gunna snitched against Young Thug, and they wonder if he gave up information on Lil Baby too.
I just like to help people, you know.
One of those artists was Gunna. You guys did a ton of songs together.
Yeah.
Very successful on your label.
Yeah.
He was arrested about the same time as you. I think a lot of people wonder what that relationship is like now.
Yeah. I know everybody wondering that.
What's it like?
I don't know.
As another fan revealed, once y'all learn the entire effects of Gunna snitching in that YSL trial, then you'll realize why Thug and Baby will never be cool with him again. Because just a month after Gunna snitched, Lil Baby was arrested for carrying a concealed firearm without a permit and was sent to the Clark County Detention Center.
I need 20 bands, call the number for me. Hey, security, the black guy, call the number for me. Locking me up for a but I got license. Security, I give you 200 bands a year. I swear to God, security. Security, I give you 200 bands a year. You don't make 200 bands here. Hey, lady, my check leave at 9:10. Nah, check me good. I got a my nuts. Check me good. You on the camera? I gotta my nuts. Check me good. I gotta go. Alright, y'all let me in that car. Shoot myself dead. Y'all fired.
But it gets deeper, because academics also leaked how 4PF and YSL were on the same RICO documents that the feds wanted to target.
I've heard two of them. Like, I've heard the two of them. They're like, yo, these are going first, then these are going first. I've heard the names. And I don't know if I should say it. Again, I got nothing to do with no investigation for nothing, whatever, but these are top rappers. Well, one's a top rapper. The other one, matter of fact, I'll do the segment without saying the name. I'll just say this. I believe you know who the obvious name is. They're in Atlanta. They go by three letters. They've been popping. One of the top, I would say, 3 rappers in the game.
But with the YSL case now over, academics believes the arrests against Lil Baby are a warning for a RICO charge coming his way.
I'm gonna tell you some things that you're gonna have to take my word or don't believe it. It's fine. I don't care either or. When Fonnie Willis started targeting YSL, Fonnie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Thug. She got YFN. So she got YSL, YFN. Eventually, they were gonna get to 4PF. That's one of the reasons they changed their names, by the way. Except, from what I heard, the feds told them, it's okay, we got it. So the feds told them, like, it's okay if you dismiss the charge. So they didn't go that hard with trying to get Durk, especially after Von died. They dropped that case. They dropped it, but the feds has realized we gonna get Durk eventually. You doing the math? You see why Lil Baby is moving the way he been? Because Lil Baby hasn't been on Fed watch. He's been on county state watch.
The Atlanta DA Fannie Willis was angry that they didn't get Young Thug to a sentence behind bars, which is why they're targeting his best friend Lil Baby. The cops pulled up on Lil Baby again, but this time for illegal window tints.
Huh? Man, you know why I pull you open up these windows? They tinted. You can't see nothing out.
I'm a celebrity, man. Nobody can't see me. Give me my ticket. Let me ride.
I don't know what celebrity you are.
It don't matter. They give me my ticket. Let me ride. I can't have nobody seeing me right here. I'm gonna let my window up.
Oh yeah, you good, but you can't have that tinted window, man.
Alright, they give me a ticket. Have a good day, man.
Now who are you? You say you
My name Lil Baby.
Okay, I just need you to sign right here, okay?
You got a pen? 827. You don't be want to have these. You gotta have tickets in Atlanta. These folk crazy. I take a ticket, then somebody follow me home.
Put a 32.
Huh?
You can put a 32. If you got a medical exception, you can get the 10.
However, once Baby took off and continued driving, he was pulled over again and arrested for an unknown reason. Luckily, Lil Baby was able to call his lawyer and get released that same night. However, Kodak is about to face his trial, which comes with a prison sentence.
Hey, look, come here. I'm gonna arrest you on all right? This is just for the time being. You're just, come on, spread your feet. Keep your head low.
Kodak Black. Officials say Bill Capri, better known as Kodak Black, violated the conditions of his pre-trial release.
With Kodak's trial coming up for his trafficking and possession charges, newly found footage from a 2015 case has gone viral online, where Kodak is seen having an interrogation with police and telling the officer, quote, "I'll tell you whatever."
Let's do this. Let's start by one by one. One by one. Right. Tell you whatever. We're just talking about the kids right now. To be fair to you, tell me about the burglary and what happened. It's helping me in any way.
This caught the attention of Boosie, who responded to Kodak's situation and said if he ends up in prison, he might have it rough because of the time he made a song with 6ix9ine.
You know, Kodak done been in jail, bro, so that was a detrimental move to him, bro. Like 6ix9ine, I'm gonna tell you this, Black, and I'm pretty sure 6ix9ine knows this too. 6ix9ine is the most hated person in prison.
Really?
You hear 6ix9ine name damn near every other day. When people looking at their case, this motherfucker goes 6ix9ine. Like he is hated, he's hated, bro. What Kodak did, he's gonna have to stand on that. He better stay out of, I got 9 calls from the feds, from the state, everything. Like, Boost, is it true? I know people are, bro, they gonna get on Kodak
for that, bro. When if he ever...
But this is happening because the court finally released an update on his case, and the news wrote, Kodak Black will finally face court hearings about his charges of trafficking and possession. Lawyers expect the rapper to face a prison sentence instead of a rehab program due to him being a repeat offender. But what he did before the court hearing ruined his entire case because he admitted to using illegal items recently.
That must be off today because he eating good. What you mean? You mean like as in like I must be off it or I must like not be on it? What you trying to say? Whoever the his name, Mellow Fellow. You don't know me. I eat good. I eat good every day, all day, yeah, man. High or not, yeah. I'm being a. I tried it though.
You said keep.
I don't keep for real. But I'm gonna tell you how this say it right now. Man, everybody be on. It's nothing. You feel me? That's why I said that. That's why I had said that, you feel me?
This made the court hearing not go in Kodak's favor because a reporter wrote, chatter inside the courtroom between prosecutors and law officials makes it sound like Kodak isn't being given another chance, time to face a sentence, but for how long? But this put Kodak in a bad spot mentally when he went on live stream and was not looking good.
Yes, absolutely, I like that. All right, DP, thank you, brother.
Yeah, you was
all right, coming up next, I want to play some Drew Hill. I got Camper, I got Anita Baker, all on the way. My name is QB Rodriguez, I'm in for Shelby Russian today. Hot 105.
However, it's important to understand how this will go down because this isn't Kodak's first arrest for these charges. Back on February 28, 2023, it was reported Kodak Black admits to being on drank but denies being on other items after pleading not guilty on possession and firearm charges.
I was on the and I was asleep in front of my family house, bro. That's it. I was on that drink, sleep in front of my people's house. But and that ain't illegal. And that ain't illegal. I mean, so all that shit is just the process that it had to be in any other mud shot. The process that even though like bogus is plastered all over the internet, then on top of that, it's like, bro, like I'm Haitian. I mean, and then it's just like my error. Bro, like, nah, like, man, you better off.
Soon after that Instagram live, federal agents searched Kodak's Florida home and arrested him. With him locked up, he hired his lawyer, Bradford Cohen, who got him out of a 2-year jail sentence and instead persuaded the judge to give Kodak rehab time.
Kodak, whose real name is Bill Capri, faced a judge Tuesday in Orange after turning himself in following an arrest warrant issued for violation of his pretrial release. Authorities said he tested positive for during a random test earlier this month.
What is this? Unjust and not right about the situation.
Black, addressing the judge after the pretrial release technician testified he may have mixed up the samples between Black and another patient.
There's no way you tested positive. We can resolve that by way of a hair sample, and that'll clear you.
Judge Barbara Duffy then asking for a hair sample today to clear up the alleged mix-up, which Black refused, rather choosing to check into the Legacy Rehabilitation Facility for 30 days as part of his pretrial release.
Kodak spent over a year in rehab, which led to him bettering his life by working out and creating new music, which led to him dropping his return song titled Walk. It got 33 million views on YouTube fast and began a new chapter of his music career, but it had all come crashing down when he jumped on a live stream with Kai Cenat. He was originally doing it because he wanted more publicity for his return to music, but he was acting out of it on the live stream.
You can't always say it, but at times when it feels good, that's what you say sometimes. Yeah. I thought your name was Bubba. Hey, oh.
Kodak would try to cover up his actions from the live stream in another message the next day, but it didn't matter to many Kodak fans.
Say y'all people like who be on that, y'all be on all type of shit. Y'all be on shit. Say all type of stupid. But I take me one and y'all be so hurt. Y'all wanna like it anyway. Yeah. Everybody else who be coming like on that timing, they ain't got no motion. They broke, they hurt, they something, or they trying to come into life some kind of way and trying to like look for any type of little. Yeah, I could come in that way. Oh, I think you need help. Oh, look, bro, try to like, and then y'all don't think.
Most of his fans were mad that Kodak went back to his old ways and began using again. But in a surprising move, Kodak tried to start regular live streaming on his Instagram, but it didn't turn out well because he ended up tweaking on his kitchen counter.
Business just got the sentence. What you want a Mac? Got some sentence. Got the sentence. You bitches, boy. Got some sentence. Boy, want raise you on your back. Yeah, stuck on the Mac. Hey, stuck on the Mac. Then a bed rest. There's a long nap because she took it out today and you can't do it back. You can't help.
Although Kodak's behavior went down a bad spiral and only continued getting worse because he went on Instagram saying he was waiting to pass away.
Everybody getting while we waiting on other people too, right? Other people, they don't know how to let time do its thing. Everybody like let time do its shit, bro. Time is the best, what you call it, whether it's gonna heal or whatever the it's gonna let, you know, let time do its shit. You gotta be patient. Love is patient, love is kind. You know, like I'm saying, it makes absolutely zero sense, no sense at all. Or try to approach the situation with any type of aggression. The whole world on. Everybody on. Your man on. Your on. Everybody getting. While we waiting, while we just down here waiting on when we're gonna.
People realize how sad Kodak has been, and the reason why Kodak might have said that was because of a tweet that went viral. Every time I see Kodak Black, I get so sad. That man has like 4 baby mamas, and don't none of you greedy women care about him for real, because why aren't you all helping? Probably sitting around waiting for him to pass away. But other fans continue commenting on how Kodak was acting after a very concerning video came out. It led to fans writing, "Every day I see a new video of Kodak strung out, not even acting like a human. Will someone help him?" Another wrote, "Anyone else afraid if Kodak doesn't get help, we're going to lose him?" They said this in response to Kodak ordering chicken and eating it in the middle of the road.
The wrong thing. Take a seat next to him. Take a seat next to him. Enjoy that food. Enjoy that. Take a seat next to him, brother.
Oh, hold on, please. I want to be part of. Bro, I want to join them, bro. I want to be down here.
However, after months of Kodak not acting right, he said that he never experienced true love, and it could be the reason why he's been so sad.
I know girl treated you right. Never, bro. I never had experienced love before. I never experienced it. I never experienced it, bro. I never experienced it, bro. I never did, bro. I never did, bro. I never experienced love, bro. I never did, bro. I never had it. I never had it, bro. I never had it, bro. I never had it.
This led to Kanye West saying he wanted to help Kodak while asking other rappers to help Kodak too.
Okay, so I thought Kodak was in Miami. I see he's in Atlanta. So I'm gonna flight down to Atlanta right now and do something. So anybody that's already down in Atlanta that knows him and knows anything about, I know I said rappers and all that, but right now I need y'all, man, to like really go and do something. Like we can't. I know y'all think I'm crashing out. Y'all, you see me talking. I'm expressing myself. And look, man, please don't. I know I said a lot, and just let me go down there and go help this man out.
Although videos of Kodak not acting normal continued coming out because one of his friends recorded him just pacing around his room while being out of his mind, it also proves that the people close to Kodak aren't giving him the help he needs.
I'm Drake's favorite rapper.
Who?
I'm his favorite rapper.
You Drake favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Nah.
He always say that. Even his people always say that. They always say that. Even when he ain't, you know what I mean? Even when he ain't around, so shit like, oh no, it's for real, bro. You just got it.
This led to rapper Boonk saying he wants Kodak to get better and tried giving him advice.
But right now, man, we worried about you. You don't look too healthy. In front of outside looking in, it's obvious that you're a and I don't believe for 1 second you just doing for your own enjoyment. Nah, you trying to find something to fill up that void that's within your chest. See, I've been where you at right now, but by the grace of God, I'm clean. Them strongholds have been pulled down. Them chains are broken. So I'm qualified to talk about this. You got to make a decision, bro. You got too many people looking up to you, and from one father to another, gotta set the right example for your son. This coming from somebody who genuinely cares. So if you come across this video, you want to sit at the table, break bread, man, holla at me.
Even another fan of Kodak tried to give him motivation by saying he liked Kodak more when he was sober, but it made Kodak get aggressive.
Say I love when Kodak's sober.
chain sober. I look sober.
That nigga's going for 2.
I know it's sober. For what? For what? Look at all this money. Look at all this cash. Sober for what? Too young sober. Young sober.
The videos just continued coming out as Kodak showed up to a football game for the Baltimore Ravens, and it got reports of NFL fans are worried for rapper Kodak Black's health as he appeared off while showing love to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
Hey Kodak, what you gotta say about the Ravens, Big G? I love the Ravens. Hello. Hey, what about that boy LJ, man? What you gotta tell the flock about that boy LJ, man? That boy Yak in the city. Yeah, Yak in the city. I live out here. Hello. Yak in the city. Baltimore. Let him know.
With the situation getting out of hand, Wallow and Gilly reached out to Kodak and actually contacted him in person, telling him he shouldn't doubt himself and that he has babies counting on him.
Don't ever doubt yourself. You got them babies counting on you. There's gonna be times where you're gonna doubt yourself, you're gonna be in pain, but them babies counting on you, you gotta be here. And I'm telling you that because a lot of people get around you and they see your success and they say, oh man, a lot of people need you, and they yes man you. I ain't here to yes man you. You know me, every time we connect, you know I got love for you. Not because I need you, I got love for you because you're a young cat and I was young, Gil was young. Live. And I'm telling you that because you see that love that lady get, you see how you light up when I talk about your babies? Live. These people wanna laugh, they wanna joke, they wanna criticize. They don't know your pain, I don't know your pain. But I know one thing, them babies counting on you.
While this was all happening, Kodak was invited out to the White House despite being in a terrible state.
So like imagine a world if all of us was just one color. If all of us was just blue or green. Oh, if everybody was smart, you gotta have some dumb people. Oh, what if everybody was rich? Who's gonna take the trash out?
Kodak realized how bad it looked for not making sense during a speech in the White House, and he apologized for his actions.
I'm honestly, I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry to the people who I heard it. I'm sorry if you don't understand me. I'm sorry if you just don't like me. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to everybody that I've wronged. And I'm just sorry to all the times I made my mom cry. And I'm sorry to all the girls whose heart I broke. I'm sorry to Young Miami. You know what I'm saying? For kind of disrespecting her and stuff like that. She accepted my apology.
She did?
Clearly, Kodak's apologies don't really mean anything because he responded to Kanye with a weird message by saying, Kanye's a real one. You know why he's a real one? Kanye the only guy who still likes Diddy.
Yeah. Kanye a real one. You know why you a real one? Cause I'm some whole kind of Kanye the only still Diddy, cause he know he ain't a lot of the other look at me. I'm clean, yeah. In her,
Meanwhile, New York rapper K Flock was sentenced to a long time in prison.
Flock here. Been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight though. Make my first official statement about it. Want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers.
Soon come home, man.
After news of K Flock's lawyers submitting paperwork for the rapper's release, a tweet went viral reading, K Flock has a chain waiting for him when he touched down. Only a matter of time for the GOAT to return to the city, alongside footage of his new diamond chain waiting for him at the jeweler. This stemmed from a tweet earlier today. K Flock had a court update today with his lawyers submitting new paperwork against his 5 guilty charges. If successful, the rapper will have a new release date from prison, which resulted in K Flock speaking out for the first time to the public.
Flock here. Been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight though. Make my first official statement about it. Want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers. I want to thank everyone who was involved in my trial, especially the judge who made sure I was treated with respect throughout the process. I have to thank my lawyer, Michael Ashley, no cap, for not giving up on me and putting up a fight, even though we still fighting because it ain't over till our law says over. I want to thank every one of my fans and supporters. I love y'all, everything to the chin, nothing to the heart. And my spirits and faith is high as they ever been, and I pray everyone out there is at peace and feel positive too.
But to know when he could be released, it's important to note it was announced. K Flock was found not guilty of M charges, but guilty of 5 other charges, including possession and RICO. But K Flock's sentence for the other charges came out in December, which got the news to report K Flock sentenced to 25 years in prison. Although K Flock's lawyers are currently appealing the sentence to lower it, they claim his sentence was excessive for the actual part he played in the RICO and hope they're successful with their appeal. But the main thing is that the judge had a bias against K Flock because he knew that Flock was recently acquitted on the M charge for Oscar Hernandez, which is another reason why Flock's lawyers believe he got a longer sentence than normal. However, when they were discussing the M charge in court, it was reported the prosecutors wrote in a letter saying that the jury was determining whether, with K Flock's idiosyncrasies, he believed he was acting in self-defense because he thought Oscar was about to use physical force, which means they're taking in how K Flock's upbringing was because he grew up in the streets and it's changed his way of thinking. When Oscar began following Flock on the sidewalk, with his history of being in the streets, he believed Oscar was going to try taking him out, which is likely why Flock was so quick to act on Oscar because he saw him reaching and Flock wanted to defend himself. But we finally got an update from Flock in jail when rapper Top 5 called him.
Talk to them, Flock. Talk to them, my dog. Soon come home, man. You got these little boys walking around with no jewels, Flock. They need you. They need you, Flock. I'm coming,
Even Lil TJ said they gotta free K Flock because he doesn't think it's fair. If you really think about it, K Flock was only in jail to begin with because he turned himself in for the Oscar passing. Rather than being able to beat that case like he did and get released, the feds wanted to keep him, so they hit him with all the other charges. But we heard from Bobby's perspective on the case.
What's it like for you watching the K Flock thing happen? That's crazy. Next big artist coming out of New York.
I love Flock, so I like that. That's my guy.
Okay.
But you know, I'm wishing him the best right now, you know what I'm saying? And you know, for the alleged charges they pushing on him, you know what I'm saying? I'm wishing his family the best. I'm wishing the whole team the best and everything, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he beat them alleged charges, you know what I'm saying? Because he got a lot of future brightness he got, and I hope, you know what I'm saying?
That would be a sad story if that's the end of the
we ain't gonna think like that, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta stay positive.
And the only reason K Flock was found guilty on the other charges is because his own people snitched on him. With it reported, K Flock reportedly used a firearm against someone who used one against his friend in 2020. Today, that friend testified against him. The snitch's name is Brockington, otherwise known on the street as Dougie. Dougie was arrested for selling and took a plea deal to snitch out K Flock. Keep in mind, K Flock was the one who defended Dougie and went out of his way to get Dougie's revenge against the person who went after him. But clearly, loyalty doesn't mean anything in the streets because Dougie was fast to turn on Flock once he was charged. However, to understand Flock's possible release date, it's important to read his case file. Because when Dougie testified in court, the reports wrote, "After you got hit, who called you in the hospital?" Dougie answered, "K called. He said, 'You know we got you, bro.'" The prosecutors confirmed K referred to K Flock and continued with Dougie saying, "Yes, he was gonna retaliate against whoever hit me." The prosecutors asked, "Flock hit them up in retaliation for you?" Dougie answered yes, and that someone got grazed during the altercation, as he mentioned how Flock had a firearm on his person and rival members were circling them. This is a big part of why K Flock was on edge while walking through the streets of New York. But we heard Flock's friend B Love speak his mind on the case.
Okay, but so I saw some fans who were off at both me and academics after K Flock got locked up because just because I guess, like, you know, in our tone when we talked about it, you know, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like, you know, your boy is just done and he's cooked in this situation.
I ain't gonna lie, people, especially people that don't even be knowing, like, y'all don't even know what's going on, bro.
But this Oscar situation is the main reason why Flock got so much time behind bars, because even though he was innocent, it paints him in a bad light for being involved in so many crimes. But they covered the story of the Oscar passing and how the full situation went down. On December 23rd, 2021, K Flock was seen walking down the sidewalk with an individual. Wearing a blue coat, shiesty mask, and designer jeans, he continues walking past the local barbershop. However, someone from inside noticed him, and you see Oscar exit the shop and yell at Flock, "What are you looking at?" Which led to Oscar and Flock yelling at each other back and forth before K Flock continued walking. However, Oscar keeps going after him. In the footage, you can actually see the moment Oscar thinks to head back to the shop as he takes a step back, but he decides against it and follows K-Flock. He keeps yelling at him while grabbing at his jacket pocket, and K-Flock acted quickly, using his firearm against him. In an attempt to get away, Oscar tried to return to the barbershop but fell to the ground, and it wasn't long before witnesses called the cops and paramedics were on the scene. Unfortunately, it was too late and Oscar passed away, leaving his slides and shell casings at the scene. But initially, the feds had no idea who the suspect was. They had no idea it was K-Flock, so they asked the public for help as they put out a wanted poster asking for tips on who it could be. But people that were familiar with the New York drill scene and fans of K-Flock quickly recognized him and told the feds, as there was actually an Instagram live from K-Flock earlier that day which showed he wore the same jacket that appears in the security camera footage. With K-Flock having 24 hours to decide what to do, he hired one of the best lawyers in New York before the feds figured it out. But once they did and put out a warrant for his arrest, his lawyer knew the best move was to turn himself in, which came out with his lawyer's statement. "I accompanied Kevin as he self-surrendered to detectives in the 30th precinct. Arrangements were immediately made once I learned he was wanted. As to the charges against him, we have begun our investigation into these allegations. We will address bail once we have had a chance to review the case and further investigate the DA's noteworthy disclosure." But this got Flock's lawyer to speak about the footage in an interview and said he absolutely believes his client was acting in self-defense.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. We consider that to be self-defense.
So he did take him in self-defense.
That's what the allegation is. I don't want to talk too much about the details of the case,
Okay.
but the government claims that he pulled the. But at the same time, the person that was on the ground had his hand on a illegal loaded.
Okay. So without saying too much, you're arguing obviously self-defense.
That could be one of the arguments, self-defense. And I would say to the public, somebody's walking up to you with a loaded, it's pretty clear is going to use it, with a criminal record a mile long. Do you want to get or do you not want to?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't hesitate to pull the.
But the police released their statement and said the incident happened because of beef between two street teams. They connected Flock to an affiliation with the Third Side street team. At this time, K-Flock was also getting a lot of control in the streets based off the fame he was getting from his music while also being a higher up in the crew. This also made him one of the top targets to take out for street teams beefing with his. But with the feds drawing connections to street teams, this is what brought on the RICO charges. With it reported, K-Flock was indicted by a federal grand jury for multiple new racketeering conspiracy charges. This had hip-hop creators reacting, saying it was over for K-Flock once he got the RICO charge. Even academics wrote, "Feds just unsealed an indictment on K-Flock for a RICO charge. The mandatory minimum if he doesn't beat those charges or snitch is life in prison. He still is facing state charges that have him locked up." But Flock's lawyers wrote a statement on the extra charges and said how it's crazy that the feds used the Oscar charge to start the RICO, as they wrote, "We're not surprised by the federal charges as we've been fighting Kevin's state charges for over a year now. Considering the incident was a clear act of self-defense, it wasn't a strong charge. But the fact it's now being used as a basis for a penalty charge is extraordinary. It's crystal clear on video that Kevin was about to be affected after attempting to walk away from the other person. Only then did Kevin use an item to defend himself and his sister from the armed member who was about to pull out a firearm from his pocket," which shows that the feds were using the Oscar case only to create more charges for K-Flock, which doesn't really make sense now because the original charge got dropped. It just goes to show how hard it is to escape the feds when they really want you to be locked up. But reporters from the courtroom wrote about how his first day in trial went on the RICO charge. Day one of K-Flock trial's over. Instant thoughts are the prosecutors are not ready. They're stuttering many words, not answering the judge's questions, and not supplying evidence to defend Flock's lawyer's defense. But they know that K-Flock couldn't do much against the new charges, and when snitches came forward, it was pretty much a done deal. But we did hear from K-Flock from inside jail.
I know what's going on, man. Flock, I know something you, man. Like, please leave to the guys, man. Hey, yo, like, I'll be back real soon. Shout out to my fans and my supporters, man. I love all y'all, man. For all of you out there, violence, man. For me, and do what y'all supposed to do, man. For me, get through life correctly, bro. Like,
Get money.
So, man, I'll see you real soon.
But K-Flock was a clear target by the feds, and it looks like they're after other rappers too, because Lil Baby was blamed for a crime when he had no part in it. All he was doing was filming a music video when his ops showed up, and it resulted in 2 people passing, but it was only Baby's rivals who were doing the crime.
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence was orchestrated by adults in our city, and cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
Even Yungeen Ace is being targeted down in Jacksonville for crimes he might have played a part in.
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
But rapper Boosie agrees that once the feds have you in lockup, they can do anything they want in order to keep you.
When they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted them bad when they waited for that law to get passed. So it'd be 8-4.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, they waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a fucking mistrial.
If K-Flock's appeal for his sentencing isn't successful, it won't be for another 25 years until we see K-Flock a free man.